We've seen several chefs at work on Food Journey in the past, and today I'm focusing on their craft and unique skills on this episode, Tale of Two Chefs. My first visit today is with Chef Benedict, who specializes in taking his extensive knowledge of classic Italian cuisine, customizes and redefines its appeal using local African ingredients. He is an alumni of Le Cordon Bleu Firenze, Italy, and grew up in the same city, which is very intriguing indeed. And we met at XO Bakery for our chat.
Chef Benedict, I am so happy to finally have you here to ask, a few questions about your trade. It's wonderful. I'm sure you've had a very busy day, so I really appreciate you coming in to talk. You're coming straight from the office, aren't you?
Yes, straight from the office.
I actually envy you. I'd love to be able to work in a kitchen all day long and all night long.
Sounds a little bit more romantic than what the reality is. But yes, I'm lucky enough to practice what it is that I love.
So, Chef, you have a very interesting story, and you're sort of a good study because your culinary experience spans across two different countries. We're talking about Italy and we're talking about Nigeria. How did that actually really come about in the first place?
That's a good question. So basically what it was is, my stepfather and the family that I really know and got close to is Italian. So for me, when I think about comfort food, when I think about food, everything for me comes as Italian. My best friends are foodies. My parents are known as foodies even by Italian standards. And to be honest, you're in a country where you can't help but celebrate food. So it's one of those things where when I came to Lagos, I already knew what it is I was going to do. I believe in following and perfecting and honing your culinary identity and your culinary philosophy. So I decided that Italian food was what I was going to do. Now, what I found interesting about Nigeria is that we have these raw ingredients which I felt were not celebrated enough, which I find very interesting, which, to be honest, I also feel like it's the time is now to try and categorize and figure out how everything works. So I was lucky enough to be in a position where I can, see how Nigerian onions work, see how Nigerian tomatoes work. Like, the surprising thing I found is that I've never seen a tomato that responds to seasoning the same way Nigerian tomato does, which till today I can't really explain. So yes, just building on that, and it just became a passion. So from something which I felt, okay, let me try and see, a curiosity became a passion, and eventually just became my culinary direction and philosophy. So yes.
So now tell me, have you always been a chef, or have you ever done anything else? Because I know I have reinvented myself at least 5 times. I think this is the 6th reinvention that I'm on. How about you?
I started this cooking gig relatively early. It's a passion I've had since, my mom says since I was like 13, 14.
Wow.
So I've been cooking since then, yeah. So to be honest, I feel like this is what I was always going to do.
It's interesting to sort of know your direction from such an early age. Most kids don't really know what they really want to do until they're much older. But you said something interesting. You said you have a business background.
Yes.
Now, obviously, as a chef, knowing the business part of the career is a plus, isn't it?
Of course, yes, it is. It's a very big plus. You see, I think the problem a lot of times as creatives is we forget that sustaining yourself is very important. You get carried away by your creative philosophy, by your culinary identity, by your creative integrity. Nobody's asking you to compromise anything, but you still need to make a living. You still need to live from day to day. You still need to be responsible. You need to stop being a burden to everybody around you. You see, we have passed the era of the patron that keeps you in their house and just sustains everything. So you can't be acting like a sports brat anymore. Just do what it is you have to do. It's a business. It's a passion-driven business. But still a business nevertheless. So I think it is important that you approach it with a certain discipline and diligence. That's it.
So your specialty is Italian food. How well do you think that's being received here in Nigeria?
You see, how well has it been received? I mean, I don't What I'm about to say might be terrible, but to be honest, I don't think that what I do, I don't think that what I do is for everybody. It's not about how well it's received. It's about how well you're doing what it is that you're supposed to do. And I believe that the people that are there to appreciate it will appreciate it, and they have appreciated it. I've been shown a lot of patronage. I've been shown a lot of support. But generally, let me not even lie, with such an answer, I believe that good food and integrity are things that are always appreciated within any society. So I can say overall, generally, it's been very well appreciated.
So have you come across any major challenges trying to create Italian food here? Have there been any compromises that you've had to make that are good? Using a certain ingredient instead of an original ingredient? Has that created sort of a fusion rather, or just a different interpretation of the Italian meal?
This is a great question. I like to describe what I do as the journey of an Italian chef navigating through the ingredients of Nigeria. So it's just one of those things where it's like, for example, one of the dishes I did was a crayfish and ugu risotto. Now, the thing is that, like, I'm not looking at the umami of the crayfish, I'm looking at the smokiness of it. So the elements that I'm looking for are slightly different from
the original Italian.
Not from the original Italian, actually more from the original Nigerian. So while like the crayfish is the highlight of the dish, for me, the crayfish is the subtlety that will add an edge to the dish.
Love that.
So it's just so it's a different interpretation of what the same ingredient is.
Yes.
And like it's also a thing about exposure. You know that ugu is very similar to things like collard greens and things like what do you call it, cavolo kale. So like it's very rich. It's got the same flavor profile, more or less similar. So you just try and you play around with it, and the thing is that you now come out with something that, of course, it's not traditional Italian food, but quintessentially is Italian.
Going to culinary school, that I've heard is an expensive journey for whoever's paying.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about how intense the training is, and the sheer cost and the time involved.
Culinary school. It's the thing is that this is not uni. I think a lot of people, when you go to university and college or stuff like that, you have an idea of what it is you want to do. Culinary school is something very specific. It is not an idea. It's not something that's based on a whim. It's driven on a passion. And to be honest, at least within our African culture, making a sort of investment to go to a school where they teach you how to cook is something that is still not relatively accepted. So I feel it's one of those things where you have to take it very seriously. But the good thing is that I feel like in culinary school, they put you in a position where you will take it seriously. There's no, you're dealing with food. There's a certain discipline and mentality that they have to instill in you, so that by the time you get they have to get you restaurant ready. But the thing is, I feel like what it is that you have to take it day by day. Like I knew the second day I got in that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life, even though the first day I was publicly humiliated because I was the only person that went into culinary school without having any sort of culinary background, at least in that mindset that was there. So it's just one of those things where they will drill you, they will break you, they will, but it's all in good faith. Everything is so that you come out with a respect towards food, you come out towards a respect towards yourself because you've earned it, you've worked hard. So it's one of those things where, you just have to accept everything that they give to you.
You invited me to come and do a little bit of Italian cooking with you.
Yes.
To learn. You're the chef. And I'd love to do that. Maybe in a couple of weeks we could get together.
Of course, please. I look forward to it.
Maybe make something nice and simple.
Yes.
I've been all over Italy, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to a very decent pasta for me.
Of course.
So I would really appreciate it if you could show me a couple of sauces so I can have something up my sleeve for
no
a rainy
problem.
day.
We hope we'll do like a couple of simple pasta dishes.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's going to be exciting.
Yes, fantastic. That's going to be great.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you in Italian. I hope I'm not going to mess it up. So
Okay, please.
Grazie mille.
Ah, perfect. Prego, prego, prego.
And then, how can I say to the audience, see you in the kitchen?
Ci vediamo in cucina.
So, ci vediamo in cucina. And let's say ciao.
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 Ciao, ciao.
We are going to see how Chef Benedict transforms some of our beautiful local produce into Italian-inspired recipes. I got my chance in the kitchen with Chef Benedict, a real privilege. He came with his 2 sous chefs, and all clad in black, they quickly started prepping the ingredients before the arrival of the chef.
Great. So, Chef Benedict, here we are in the kitchen. I'm ready and excited to see what you're going to show us today.
Yes, so we got some, I think what are the fundamentals of Italian cuisine. We're making an aglio olio and peperoncino pasta, which is just pepper, garlic, olive oil, and some fresh parsley.
I love the way Italian sort of makes an ingredient sound interesting. You said that peperoncino is for pepper, which is really amusing to me, but it sounds romantic. I love that.
Yes. So the first one we're going to start with is our cherry tomato pasta.
Okay. Okay, great. Cherry tomatoes, you say. And I'm going to taste these because they're small, but they're full of flavor. Yum, yum,
They're all
yum.
locally sourced. I love using locally sourced ingredients to make. So Italians have a saying. They say that the whole world is a town. So like you have onions everywhere, you have tomatoes everywhere. So I think it's just about manipulation.
Right, to get that simplistic methodology.
Yes. So the first thing first is olive oil.
Olive oil.
You just take your pan.
Right.
In thousands of recipes, oil plays a role, an important one. It's not only used for frying, but as a flavor in itself.
You just take your pan.
Right.
Not too much. Okay.
Fantastic.
So olive
This
oil.
is a big pan.
Yes. You want the tomatoes to be able to cook on spread. Then these are our ingredients. So simple.
Right.
So we start with some garlic, crushed, 3.
Nice.
So I crush garlic. I don't really
Chop it up.
I don't really chop it up for most of my pasta sauces because of the fact that I believe you want the aroma but not really the taste of it. So what's going to happen is it's going to cook, it's going to release a lot of its flavor. But you're not going to have this extra garlicky flavor. You're going to have hints of garlic flavor. You just want this to start cooking.
Okay.
Wait a little bit.
You got a lot of sharp equipment there.
Yes, I love my knives as a chef. So yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Look at that. So are you going to remove that garlic?
No.
It's going to stay in.
Give us lots
Can I
of
give it a
flavor.
swill around?
Of course.
Just to feel like I'm doing something, Wow.
And we're doing quite a rustic cherry tomato sauce, so just julienne onions.
When you say julienne, that's just slice them up.
Yes.
Okay.
Do a slice like this.
Great.
Very rustic. Almost a roughest chop.
So you've got all these great onions in here doing their thing. Sorry, let me give you the spoon.
So yeah, we're gonna let this cook literally for another minute.
Okay. Another minute. Wow. Okay.
Get those onions cooking well.
And those are sort of releasing all their sugars and things
All the
into that.
sugars, caramelizing a little bit.
And when I tasted the cherry tomatoes, those also were rather sweet as well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly sweet.
But we're gonna balance it with a little bit more sugar.
Okay.
Because the sauce is nice when it's slightly sweet. So this is our first sauce. And,
Okay.
so yeah, this is it.
So really that's it, literally.
Yeah, we wait. So now we just take this.
And wow. Look at that. Shall I give it a little zhuzh around?
Please.
Look at that. That looks amazingly colorful.
Just trying to make sure we get all the tomatoes.
All of
in
them?
there. Okay.
Fantastic.
And then
Now this is our pasta water.
Just salt it slightly.
Okay. That's great.
So then we're gonna start adding our basil.
Look at that color. Fantastic.
Very simple. I don't want to overcook anything.
Right.
So that's the whole idea. A little bit of salt.
Little salt. Wow.
Very important.
I love the way you sort of do that high chef sprinkling. Here you go, here's your spoon.
You know, please help me mix it.
Really? Okay, let me do a little bit of zhuzhing.
We're going to add a dash of white wine.
A dash of white wine.
Now chef adds what I would call a splodge of white wine.
Wow. There's quite a sauce that has happened there now.
Yes.
With the breakdown of those tomatoes.
So now what we do is that we add a little bit more water. And I believe, in my opinion, a little bit more olive oil. Just why not? I'm going to just let this. Then turn down the heat. It's very rustic.
And let it go.
Yeah. So as that is simmering,
Right.
the next pasta sauce takes literally 5 minutes to make. So we're going to
Okay.
throw in our pasta.
Okay.
Which the water's already been salted. It's boiling to the max.
In with the pasta.
Just leave it, it'll break down a little bit, and then you just start pushing it down.
So you wait till it's kind of soft and then you push it
Yeah,
down.
then you push it down, it'll be fine. So some more basil in here, and then why not add some basil
Into the water.
the
Look
water.
at that.
for extra freshness.
I love that.
This we're using linguine today,
Linguine.
which is my favorite pasta actually. So I feel like linguine is very versatile, and it just catches the sauce a lot better. So just leave that to boil,
Really? Okay. Look at that.
and this is ready. So the thing is that you want some freshness, so you don't want the tomatoes to break down too much. You want
wanna see
this,
them.
you want to see them, you want to see a little bit of this, the oil, the onions, everything is very rustic. You don't want the tomatoes to break down too much because you want that freshness. You don't want a tomato sauce. So we taste to balance,
Yes.
because we might need to compensate for sugar, because our tomatoes tend to be slightly bitter.
What do you think? Perfect?
It's all right,
Thank you. Like this.
very fresh.
My goodness.
Okay, so our pasta is boiling.
Great.
Just check up on. And now we can make our other sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
The next sauce requires even more olive oil this time.
So the first thing that we actually add are chili.
Okay. I like the way you don't chop up a lot of stuff. Even the chili.
You want the flavor, you want the flavor. You don't want anything to be too overpowering.
Right.
So the whole idea is that food is nicer when you can get hints. You don't want anything covering anything. You want everything to express itself equally. So there's no real need. You don't want. I'm not a big fan of very aggressive flavors.
Right.
I like it when you can taste everything. You know, the thing is that when you get that, the build-up of flavor is what actually makes the dish.
So that's not actually bubbling. It's just sort of
But now
simmering.
We start like that, yes.
yeah.
Will
Will
those
those
bubbling, we throw in our garlic and then we switch it off.
really? So now will these peppers stay in at the end of the
Yes,
day?
they will. At least I keep them in. Not everybody does. I like to keep them in because I like mine slightly spicy. And also it has to be fresh peppers or fresh chilies.
Yeah.
So
So
the-
using crushed pepper just wouldn't do
It's
it.
not the same. Like you need something to infuse flavor in this oil. So what we're going to do is that we're going to use a pair of pincers.
Right. Everybody needs pincers in their kitchen, I think. That
Just 'cause
is
I want
great.
to do seed sides. So the seeds have a lot of flavor in them.
Right. That's where the heat comes from too.
Yes. But also flavor. Lots of flavor.
So how long has our pasta been in there for, do you reckon, for it to be good? Is it going to be al
We're going to
dente?
make it very al dente.
Very
So
al
the Italian
dente.
way is they have to have bite.
Yes.
So the bite, so if it says 8 minutes, cook it for 6.
Especially if you're going to put it into another sauce or another
So you can cook
process.
You finish it off for the last 2 minutes.
Okay.
So you see, this is it. Switch this off, we'll take it off the fire.
Wow. And it's still doing its thing right now.
Yeah, the thing is that you want balance.
It smells amazing. Smells absolutely fantastic.
Garlic.
Ooh, look at that.
So we've taken it off the fire, and then the last thing we do is we want this, we're going to bring down the temperature of the oil so our garlic doesn't burn.
Is it going to, should I move out the way? Is it going to, oh, look at that. It's
how we
just
took it off
gentle.
the fire.
Yeah.
That's it.
So straight in. Ah, I'm hungry. Look at that. Wow. And a flip. Look at that. Ooh, those beautiful peppers there. Ah, nice one.
Lots of fresh parsley. Sauce number 1 ready. And just take a little bit of this.
Okay.
Okay.
So now I want you to teach me how to say this so I can say it for the camera properly. This sauce is called
Aglio olio peperoncino. Yes.
aglio olio peperoncino. I sound Italian.
And a little bit more sugar, as I said, in this.
Lovely.
Okay. Pasta coming out of that.
Nice. Look at that all going in there. Beautiful. I love the way the pasta water sort of acts as,
Yes.
you know, little, there we go.
So it's also important that you also get the amounts right. You don't want too much. You don't want too little.
Right.
Okay.
Gorgeous. Wow, here we go. We've got this amazing taste testing session happening. I'm glad to be here as one of the recipients.
You got the 2.
That is gorgeous.
So simple. For plating, most times you just go.
Oh, look at that, and give it a beautiful twizzle. Gorgeous. I love that. And then you can get all your other little elements.
So that's why it's a very rustic dish.
I gotta try that twizzling though. Yeah? How's that twizzle?
That's fine, perfect.
Perfect, he says. Perfect. And we just, yes, Sonia, yes.
More or
And
less.
then, more or less, okay. And then we get some of the elements.
All the elements.
A little bit of the,
Chili, parsley.
mine's collapsing.
And then another thing that I usually like to do to finish off any pasta is just to take the olive oil again.
Give a little extra anointing of olive oil. Wow, amazing. Look at that. Okay, so let me do a little twizzle. I definitely want tomato with it. Oh my goodness. That was just, you know, in fact, I let some of that pasta just slip down my throat, which was beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Let me give you an Italian kisses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to say goodbye from Food Journey. We're busy here eating, but I hope you're going to join us next time. See ya.
Bye.